Hey guys, so this is a different video. If you can't tell already, I am in cosplay and I have some tarot and oracle decks in front of me. So I'm going to be starting to do like collective readings on this because I haven't really done them a lot, and I used to do them on my fourth TikTok, but I don't know. It didn't feel as authentic as me just getting dressed up and being whatever. So yeah, I had this idea a few months ago, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I have time, and yeah. So this is cosplay collective reading corner. So if you see this video, this reading may be for you. I have so many different decks in front of me that I'm just gonna choose and then do a reading for. And if you're wondering, oh, you look kind of young, I am in my 20s. I'm in my mid-20s, and I've been reading for a decade. Yes, I started reading when I was 14. So actually 13. Oh my god, it's been 11 years. Oh, that's awful. Whatever. Lucy, it's okay. Yeah, so if you hear cats and animals scurry around, we got cats here, we got dogs here, everything like that. I was immediately reaching for this one. Yeah. So this is Sacred Earth Oracle, and this one, and now this right here, it's not a deck, it's just it's something I made 2 days ago, if I'm honest, but it is fandom related, so it's a bunch of different characters or things from different fandoms or fandom culture that I have associated meaning to. So we will use that as well. But since I grabbed this first, we will see. What does the collective age know now? Does this collective get to know? Interesting. Okay, so for the first deck, I'm just gonna go through these so I can I'll go over the cards that I pulled, and then all together at the end what I think it all means together. But the cards that I'm currently seeing is Heat, Core, Surface in Reverse, Stretch, and Alchemy. Okay. I also drew 5 cards, so that could be, the number 5 could be significant. Or, yeah. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is with Heat and Core, there is something that you are passionate about, and you have the fire to do it, but you don't think that you have what it takes to accomplish that, because you don't look below the surface and you're looking at everything surface level instead of all of the expansive stretches of your own determination and mind and just talents and accomplishments that you've already done. Cat just jumped. Yeah, you don't look beyond the surface level of yourself, even though you might do that with more other people. You're constantly like, oh, well, I can see the good in this person for X, Y, or Z reason. But then when you look at yourself, you're like, oh, well, I keep falling down this rabbit hole or this toxic pattern or this and this and this. Patterns are there to teach you which path you actually want to go on. So if you're like, hey, I don't like this pattern of behavior I have, that means you're not on the right path, you know? Or that you're about to turn onto the right path, so you need to get rid of certain patterns. Actually, do this. I guess I did just write these on index cards. Why? Because it's what I had on hand, and I didn't feel like cutting construction paper. That was a piss poor shovel. But yeah, I'm getting that you're too hard on yourself. Oh, I can pull that too. Amazing. Okay, so we have Mel from Arcane, which is order, given gifts, embrace your shadow to see your light. And then Cole is compassion, Cole from Dragon Age Inquisition. So compassion, help others and yourself, grieve your past. And then Kali from Elden Ring, wander, do no harm, take no shit. And I think that kind of definitely goes with this pretty fucking well. So you're not looking at your given gifts or your shadows because you think that your given gifts aren't enough, but they are enough. They are more than enough, and you kind of need to learn to embrace your given gifts and also embrace your shadows. You cannot see your light if you don't look through the shadows. I don't know why that was just, that pop sound was just in my head, so I needed to emphasize. Okay, so Cole. Cole in Dragon Age Inquisition, he's all about helping people even though people don't really like him. So I feel like you might be a little bit of an outcast, but then the people you have often come to you with like things that they need help with and stuff like that. And you fill yourself up with so many other people's problems that you don't give yourself enough grace or time to grieve your own past traumas and to move past them. You can't look into your light if you don't look past the shadows, so you're just seeing a bunch of gray instead of being like, okay, there's some shadows over here, but what is casting the shadows? Shadows have to be casted by light. So when you go past the shadows or you follow the shadows, you can find the light. Flaws are literally there to highlight your good traits. You know, I'm not talking about like toxic behaviors, like shit like that specifically, but like, not like major toxic, but like if you're constantly dealing with like addiction or something like that, like why? Is it because you have such a big heart that you look around and you're like, shit, the world is so fucking bad, I need to just dive into X, Y, or Z. So like this could be alcohol, this could be like drugs, this could be freaking even people. You can be addicted to people and going back to particular groups or like romantic relationships or stuff like that and realize, hey, this isn't good for me, but I keep getting dopamine from fights and stuff like that, so you keep going back to it. So you need to look towards the shadow to know where you're kind of going, you know? Okay, and then I like it. So wandering, do no harm, take no shit. So I feel like you're constantly kind of wandering around a little bit, not maybe even physically, but like maybe mentally. And cats jumping onto the fucking fridge. But yeah, you're wandering a lot, maybe internally and like in your own mind, where you're like, oh, well, I can't be happy until X, Y, or Z happens. If you've seen X, Y, or Z, It's kind of interesting. Okay. But you keep wandering and trying to find something or find a place to belong, but you don't need to find a place to belong, because wherever you are, you belong, because you are a human being who deserves to live. You belong anywhere that you are. People might not want you in their lives, then you just move. Didn't mean that you didn't belong there. You belong there for a time being, whether that was to help them or to cause annoyance. Like, just because someone else's life doesn't fit yours doesn't mean that you didn't belong there for a time being. Or even if, like, I feel like if you've grown apart from someone and you're like, but like, they were here with me through thick and thin, but like, I don't know why I just can't connect with them. You've grown apart, that's fine. Things happen. Wander, you know? And the second part of this is do no harm, but take no shit. And I don't know if any of you have played Elden Ring, specifically watching this video, but Kali is a merchant, and he's like one of the first friendly faces you kind of see in the game. But if you attack him, he can rock your shit, basically. But, and also, like, none of the other merchants will trade with you, and they will all kind of become hostile. I don't know. I never attack him. He's one of my favorite characters, even though he's just like an NPC merchant. You might feel like an NPC that, like, is just kind of wandering around a little bit, and you're like, oh, well, like, I don't know what my purpose is. I need to find my purpose. Your purpose is to live and to experience life. Sometimes there's no grand purpose of you being put on this earth for fucking some crazy shit. Like, not everyone's going to be just like this fucking like big thing. No one, like, a lot of people want to be famous, but do you actually want to be famous, or do you just want people to recognize you and your given gifts because you don't recognize your own given gifts? You want people to look at you and praise you and stuff like that because you're not praising yourself. And, like, trust me, I'm also guilty of that, so it's fine. But do no harm, take no shit. I feel like, especially with Cole and Mel showing up, you might let people just a little bit walk on you. Specifically with Mel, though, I feel like you put off, like, confidence and something, like, you kind of put on more of a mask, and you're like, oh, well, I can make this person feel like this, and then they'll help me do this, or, like, if I do this for this person, they'll owe me this. But then you're like, but that's not really nice. Why do I think like that? That's what people have programmed you to think. If you have the thought and then you go, oh God, why did I think that? That's not you. The second thought is where you're like, oh shit. The manipulation that you might even, like, feel that you need to do so people, like, are drawn to you or in your life more, or you want them to stay, it's not necessary. People leaving your life is not your fault all the time, and even if it is, then just move on. You know, if you fuck up and you have someone just blow up and just say, fuck you, I'm like, I can't believe you would do this, just learn from it, see what you did, and move on. If they don't want you in your life, don't beg and grovel at their fucking feet. Move on and learn. We're humans, we all make mistakes. We're all gonna be fucking assholes sometimes, you know? Yeah, like, we're all gonna be assholes sometimes. The best thing is to learn from your patterns and move on. Learn when to wander and when to stay put, basically. So yeah, you shouldn't do any harm to anyone. You shouldn't go out of your way to harm people or, like, manipulate people, obviously. So, like, with Mel, she does it to get ahead because she feels that she has to, and she kind of does in the world that she's in, you know? And then Cole, he doesn't do harm, but he helps people, but then other people kind of talk down to him and treat him like shit and, like, call him creepy and, like, kind of shove him to the side, you know, even though all he wants to do is help, even if his helping isn't the normal helping. So I feel like you're kind of stuck flip-flopping between these two, But in actuality, you can be both. You can be both the person who has confidence and can figure out how to get what they want without hurting people. And that is an important thing to learn. So do no harm, take no shit. That's definitely something that you need to emphasize with yourself. Now this one is the Wildwood Tarot, which I don't use this one a lot. So like I might have to glance at the book. I have a lot of tarot cards, like this isn't all of them. I have so many more upstairs because again I've been doing this for freaking 11 years apparently. It'll be 11 years in October, which is a lot. But yeah, been doing this witchcraft thing for a long time. Oh, that was this poor shipment. Let's do this. You're acquainted with this deck. I think I just used this deck like last month in February. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't going to fucking pull from the middle of the deck, but seems like it wanted me to. I feel like you're also very stubborn because like the decks have been like getting progressively harder to shuffle. Like it might just be because I haven't shuffled this one a lot, but I feel like even last time I did, it wasn't nearly this hard. So you might just be stubborn and you're like, oh, why won't my life get better? But then anytime anyone offers you like advice, like also be careful who you take advice from. Like even this, like take everything I say with a grain of salt unless it fits. If it fits and you're like, well shit, then take that, but anything that doesn't fit, leave it. Leave it alone, you don't need it. Okay. I feel like that clicked someone a little bit, but I said I just stab at it. It's fine, I'm stubborn too. That one kind of looks like freaking a king. You got the lovers in reverse as well at the bottom. Okay. So we have the Three of Bowls, the Six of Stones, the Green Man, the Archer, the Seven of Bows in reverse, and also the Forest Lovers in reverse. Okay. So I think it's funny that the Six of Stones, which is about exploration and learning when it's time to like move on because shit's like rock the boat. It's also like family drama and stuff like that. So you might have issues with your family life and like maybe whoever watched you, like maybe it was parents, maybe it was just a guardian or like maybe a foster situation. I'm not sure exactly, but they did not have a very good track record with lovers or just love in general, you know, with like familial and stuff like that. So what I'm getting from that. So I feel like you are so close to getting like fulfilled, but oftentimes you look for fulfillment in the wrong places due to the Six of Stones, where you constantly like self-sabotaging just a little bit. That's what I'm kind of getting. Self-sabotaging a little bit. And with the Green Man here, especially when it's ironically below the surface card, so I think below the surface, you are the Green Man. You might have a little bit more masculine energy, or you feel that you need to get a little bit into your masculine a little bit more, especially with like more of a feminine card, like the Forest Lovers in reverse here. I feel like you're kind of unbalanced. So you have a little more masculine that's happening right now, but it's not like a healthy masculine. It's more of like a closed off toxic one, just a little bit. That doesn't mean that you're like a man or anything like that, or like you could be non-binary, you could be a man, you can be freaking a woman, you can be whatever, okay? Gender fluid, whatever. Something is causing your masculine energy to kind of take over more, and I feel like this is the reason why fulfillment keeps like slipping from your grasp, because you're like, oh, well, I need to do so many different things. I need to do all these different things just to freaking make sure that I can one day get this. This is so out of my grasp, whether that's like love, moving, freaking getting a specific job, getting enough money, like getting your own place and stuff like that. You're thinking, oh, I need to freaking do so much shit, and like I'll never be enough to like do all this stuff, because you're not actually looking below the surface to see that, hey, all of this fucking masculine energy you have is actually, it can be really good. You just need to take out and I can never say that word. Alchemize, something like that, you know? It's like alchemy, but like you know, like the verb version. You get it. But yeah, like, I feel like you don't realize how much that you have, because you do have everything that you need to do what you want to do, but you're bogged down by the Six of Stones. It's literally like a stone, like pulling you under the water a little bit, which is kind of funny because the card has like fire and stuff like that, but I'm getting water energy, even though there's more fire in this. Especially with the Heat card. You might be a fire sign that needs to look into where they have water placements in their chart. And the next card is the Archer. So I feel like this is, you can see your goal, but you're hesitating to just let the string go. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but she's literally holding the bow, about to strike, and I think you just need to let it go, because the more you hesitate, the more the target moves. So you just need to finally release it, let it go. Okay, and then the Seven of Bows is about clearance, but it's in reverse, and the imagery is someone's bow laying down with the string undone, a bunch of arrows, and also like a campfire. So you're constantly trying to work, but you don't realize, hey, sometimes you just need to take the leap and just let go of the fucking string to let the arrow fly, and then to just take a step back and just let what happen, you know? You take the leap to do things and then just see what happens. And then with the Forced Lovers in reverse, you need to stop listening to all of like the TikToks that are like, oh, your soulmate is coming, or oh, your next partner is coming, and or oh, this situationship is coming back and it will be healthy. It won't. Your soulmate will come down the line, yeah. Sure, if you have one, sometimes you are your own soulmate. I feel like someone, not all of you, but someone in here is like, I just wish I was like in a nice romance and like they're like kind of a hopeless romantic, but then the minute they get into a relationship, they're like uncomfy with romance being expressed to them, but they have like all these like ideas, and you're aromantic. Just, you're on the ace spectrum, definitely, probably aromantic. Find like a platonic partner, a queer platonic partnership, and you'll be better. I think you'll feel a lot better. Yeah. Now, for the rest of you guys, I feel like you've had a lot of toxic relationships, or almost. You're like, oh, they were like almost perfect, and then the relationship just falls apart. Well, that means we're gonna need to stop soon. But yeah, I feel like you keep having so many almost where you're like, oh, this was almost perfect. This was almost perfect. And then it just dissolves. Maybe you've been ghosted or cheated on or stuff like that. And you're like, why does it keep happening to me? It's because you kind of look at everything with rose-tinted glasses, like they say, but instead of rose-tinted glasses, they're just straight red glasses. You can't see what's red, what's gray, what's any other color. You know? Like, it is just straight up like red, thick glasses. And now you're kind of just seeing the world through red flags, and then you find one person that's just slightly, I feel like, too red, so you're like, oh, that one can't be all, like, that's not all red flags. Like, clearly I'm just being paranoid. Sometimes a red flag is just a red flag. Sometimes you just need to look at them and be like, you're not it. You're not it. So, what I'm kind of gathering from all of this, you need to just let go and look below the surface. And again, this one keeps like popping out, and this is Mel's card, but it's embrace your shadows to see your light. You need to look inside below the surface and actually, you know, see who you are. I love how my dog just woke up. Finally, she was like, I am here to tippy tap on the floor to remind you that you need to clip my toenails. But yeah. Trying to see. So 55 might be significant to someone. 3-3 might be significant. Maybe 3-3-3 as well. I would look for like signs that are like white dogs, fire, and I don't know why, but my brain just said like spilling like water, like maybe hot water, like you were boiling something and it spilled over. I don't know, that was just something that just came out. Okay. Well, that's it. I guess that's it. So subscribe for the next one, because I feel like I need to do another collective reading after this, so I'm just gonna do as many as I think with like the decks I have, and we'll see how this works out. So, bye guys.